Blessed day, everyone. So, my name is Muhammad Sabatin from BSed English 2B. We are tasked to convert the Module 9 into a video presentation. So, the contents of the Module 9 are the following. We are tasked to discuss or to give the summary of each topic and also present or discuss the theme, the setting, and also the characters involved in the story, alongside with the moral or lesson that can be found in the story. So the contents of the module 9 are the following. First is the realistic fiction. Discuss Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. Second one is Diary of a Wimpy Kid by J. Kinney. Wonder by R.J. Palacio, and also the non-fiction or biographies and essays. First one is I Am Malala by M. U. Safzai. Anne Frank, Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank herself. And lastly the historical fiction. First is the Number the Star by L. Lorey, Little House on the Prairie by L. Wilder, and the multicultural and international literature, Akong Bugsay by A. Aboitz, stories by Gat Mayman, si Duglit and Dugong Makulit, Sandosenang Sapatos, Hidden Figures by Emil Shetterly. So the first one is Anne of Green Gables. So Anne of Green Gables is a novel in the year of 1908 by Canadian author Lucy Maud Montgomery. So it is considered as classic children's novel since the mid 20th century, and the novel was translated at least 36 languages, and it has been adapted as films and live action television films. So the summary of the story revolves around the story of a 11-year-old orphan girl. It recounts about the story of an orphan girl who was mistakenly adopted by two middle-aged and unmarried siblings named Matthew and Marilla Cuthbert. The two siblings were intending to adopt a young boy, but instead they mistakenly adopted a young girl named Anne. So the novel recounts how she makes her way through life with the siblings in school and within the town. So that's the summary of the Anne of Green Gables. So the characters involved is Anne Shirley, Marilla Cuthbert and Matthew Cuthbert, Diana and Barry, and Gilbert Blythe. So these are just the prominent or the most mentioned characters in the story. But there are different characters. But there are still characters involved in the story. So the lessons that can be taken or the theme of the story is how mistakes help people transform or grow into a good person, and also the setting of the story is at a farm, Green Gables, village of Avonlea on Prince Edward Island. So the moral of the lesson that can be taken from the story is never lose hope. Even if you are an orphan child, there are still opportunities and chances that can come along into your life, and also friendship and also love from different people. Never lose hope in everything, and always face all of the challenges with positivity, and be optimistic in all of the challenges that you are facing. So the next one is The Diary of a Wimpy Kid. It is an American children's book series and digital franchise and media franchise rather, written by American author and cartoonist Jeff Kinney. He spent 8 years working on the first book before showing it to the publisher, and the story revolves around a relatable experience of any middle schooler. So it is an adventure of middle schooler Greg Heffley, and he faced challenges of being an adolescent. So there are a lot of challenges of an adolescent, not only to her, not only to her or to his physical features, but also the way how he or she interacts with different people. So presented in a diary format with handwritten notes, cartoons detailing Greg's struggles with family, school, friends, and growing up, just like what we have mentioned. So that is the summary. So the theme of the story revolves around the challenges and the humorous moments of growing up. What are the challenges, or um, what are the milestone that a person um, passes through of before or during during this stage of life, during growing up. So the theme revolves around the challenges and humorous moments and the friendship, family, dynamics, self-identity, and the setting is fictional town of Plainview. So the characters involved: Greg Heffley, Rocky Jefferson, best friend; Roderick Heffley, older brother; Susan Heffley, mother; and also Frank Heffley, the father; and Manny Heffley, younger brother. So the moral or the lesson that can be taken from the story is the importance of friendship, acceptance, and also self-identity. So the next one is Wonder. It is a contemporary children's novel written by Palacio in the 14th of February 2012. The story revolves around August Pullman, the story of a young boy with facial differences. So he faced challenges of inclusion in the mainstream school. As we all know, in the mainstream, um, there's an inclusion of people who have disabilities, and also people who are average or who are normal. So the main character has undergone numerous surgeries to correct his facial deformities, but still failed. So because of that, he lost hope in the middle of the story. But despite of his fears, he still wanted to attend the school, where he faced bullying, but also found friendship and acceptance from some people. So the theme of the story involves kindness, empathy, acceptance, and resilience. So the lesson that can be taken from the story is, despite of the deformities that we have in our physical features, never lose hope. There are some people who will accept us, and we must always bear in our mind that physical appearances or the outside appearance is not really important, but it is the outside appearance rather is not that really important, but what really matters is what inside of of a person, which means that the character that they have, the attitude, and also the cleanliness of their heart. So how are they actually socializing with other people, how they behave, how they interact with other people. That is what really matters. Physical features changes. This can be changed through several surgical processes, but the internal behavior, the internal personality of a person is just something that cannot be easily changed. So this is what something that we must always bear in mind. That outside appearances or inside appearances rather is what really matters, is what it is the important is the most important than the outside appearance. So the next one is I Am Malala, autobiographical book by Malala Yousafzai, co-written by Christina Lang, published on the 8th of October 2013. The book talks about the life of Yousafzai, her father's school, ownership, and also activism. It also talks about a particular group of Taliban, the rise and fall of that particular group, how Malala's dedication towards education despite receiving death threats from this particular group. She was shot and brought to hospital, and after she recovered, she was interviewed, and she was shocked how the incident became known to everyone because he knows the place was really isolated from the expose of the media. And yes, the place was really isolated and also in a remote place. So how come the people know about the incident? So she misses her home in Swat, and then she didn't want to be known as the guy or the girl who was shot by the Taliban, but as a girl who fought for education. So the setting is in Swat Valley, Pakistan. The theme: women's right, women empowerment, encouragement or courage, religion, and education. So the characters involved is Ziauddin, the father, and Gurpekai, his mother, and two younger brothers, Kushal and Atal. So the next one is The Diary of a Young Girl, Anne Frank, commonly referred to as The Diary of Anne Frank, book of writings from the Dutch language diary, while she was in hiding for 2 years with her family during the Nazi occupation in the Netherlands. So the family was apprehended in 1944, and Anne Frank died of typhus in the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp in 1945. So the diary was retrieved by Miep Gios and Beth Bosquill. They gave it to Anne's father, the only survivor of the family during the World War II. So the diary has been published in more than 70 languages. So um, it talks about so the book talks about or revolves around the story of Anne Frank, who whom she and his family were in hiding for 2 years during the World War II, but they were found and subsequently sent to concentration camps. And she reported in his diary. And at first, in the beginning of the book, she didn't know to whom she will address the book, because she thought that there is someone who can who she can trust, who she can really trust. But at the end, she mentioned or she addressed the book to Katie. So in the book, she expresses her experiences and the experiences and the emotions that she had during his stay in the concentration camp during the Nazi occupation in the Netherlands. So the themes revolves around the resilience in the face of adversity, hope, compassion, empathy, and understanding. The setting is in Amsterdam, Netherlands. So the next one is Number the Stars, a historical fiction by American author Louise Lowry about the escape of a family of Jews from Copenhagen, Denmark during the World War II. So the story revolves around 10-year-old Anne Marie Johansen, who lives with her family um, in Copenhagen in 1943. So she was among the Danish Jews who were rescued. Thousands of Jews were able to reach Sweden to avoid being locked in concentration camps by the Nazis. The story tells the risky move she made to rescue or to save the life of his friend. So the story's title is taken from a reference to a Bible verse that connects directly to the title of the story. So the theme revolves around bravery, friendship, impact of war on individual and community at large. So the next one is Little House on the Prairie, a series of American children's novel by Laura Ingalls Wilder. So the story based on her childhood and adolescence in the American Midwest part of the country between 1870 and 1894. So 8 novels were completed by Wilder, so published by Harper and Brothers in the year 1930 and 1930s and 1940s. The story follows the Ingalls family: Charles, Caroline, Mary, Luna, and later on baby Carrie. So they leave their home in Wisconsin to settle in Kansas, where they built their homestead in the open or on the open prairie. So family faces various challenges such as harsh weather, encounter with Native American tribes, and adapting to pioneer lifestyle. So the theme revolves around resilience, family bonds, pioneering spirit of early American settlers. So the setting is in American Midwest. So the next one is about multicultural international literature, Akong Bugsay by A. Aboitiz. So the story revolves around a father and a son who went to the sea to catch some fish. So the father or the son asked the father if he can join him fishing so that I can learn how to fish. So the father said that they must first make plan and make preparation before going fishing. So both of them jumped to the boat, but unfortunately, the son forgot the paddles, and then the father said to the son that to get the paddles because how can they move the boat if they don't have the paddles? So they went, and they also the son um, emphasized or highlighted that his father knows how to fish because his father is a fisherman and he knows how to fish very well. So they went to Cobian Island because that is the place where fish. There are a lot of fish there that they can catch. And while they are on the way, they sing the Bugsai song. And he also recounted that fishing is fun. And then suddenly, the wind got bigger and the boat started to rock, and they were almost about to be capsized. But and the son was very scared of at that instance. And the father calmed him down by singing the Bugsai song and told him to remember their goal to catch the fish and brought some fish to their home. So they made it home safely and also singing along the way, and catch many fish successfully. So the important lessons that can be taken from this story is all about the importance to have a goal, carrying out plan, and also work hard and never quit. So the next one is Duglit ang Dugong Makulit. So the story starts with a blood named um, Duglit who dreamed of getting out of Mang Omeng's body. So he was sad and bored of his work as a tiny blood cell. He wants to go to malls, to carnivals, to MRT. So some of the other parts of the body talk to him and criticize his dream of getting out of the body, of his ambition of getting out of the body. He was told that he will only be left to dry, and it is suicidal for him to get out of the body uh, of Mang Omeng. So it will only endangering himself. So despite of that, he still wanted to go out. So suddenly he wondered that one day he was like being pulled out of the place where he usually works, and he realized that he was being pulled out of the body of Mang Oming, and he was really excited and he was really happy. So some other blood cells were curious and were also wondering why he is actually happy because why he is happy of what is going on. So Mang Oming actually donated blood and the blade was out of the body at last. But then again, he regretted going out because he experienced um, different different conditions, such as he was put in a refrigerator and he almost forget his dream. But then again, at last, he was after that um, he got in the in body of another person. He was now inside another person's body. Um, and a lot of realization come to Douglas as he was in different person's body. So after his unforgettable experience outside of the body, he has now made or he has now a lot of experiences or made of lot of realization insights of the the function of a blood. So now he is now a religiously um, taking part on the on making the body unhealthy by giving oxygen to different parts of the body. So this is the story of Tugdit ang Dugong Makulit. So the next one is ang Sandusenang Sapatos. Sandusenang Sapatos is a Filipino story that revolves around a family, a father who is a zapatero who works or who make shoes, and he he had he had a daughter named Karina, whom she always whom he always make shoes. And then Karina's friends and also classmates were jealous of were jealous of her because um, her father always makes her beautiful and new shoes. And then Karina stated that her mother was pregnant and she was afraid that she will now have another person who will also have a share of her father's work. So, but then again, her mother, um, when her mother, when her mother, when her mother was pregnant and the baby was out at last and named Susie, Susie was born without a feet, and they were all feel sad. So Susie born without a feet because of German missiles. And then Susie was persecuted by people, and then Karina became a supportive sister to her younger sister. And after their father's death, Karina discovered several shoes in the storage room, and she was wondering um, to whom all of these shoes because it was like a dozen of shoes, and it was really beautiful. But then, when she read the dedication to whom the shoes were made, it was all actually for Susie's in different occasion, birthday, the birthday of Susie. So all of the shoes were actually made only for Susie. So that was the deep love of a father to his daughter. So that concludes the story of San Lucenang Zapatas. So lastly is the Hidden Figures book, American Dream and the Untold Story of the Black Woman Who Helped with the Space Race. So when we say space race, it's actually occurred in the late after the World War II and in the Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union. The space race was actually a race to the space, the race to the moon, whom among the two countries will get to the outer space first. So in the 2016 nonfiction book by Margaret Lee Shetterly. So it revolves around the biographies of three African women who who work as computers to solve problems for engineers NASA and others at NASA. For the first years of their careers, workplace was segregated. Workplace was segregated, and women any function as and women have solely one purpose, so serve as a human computers. So Shetterly further explains how these women were able to overcome discriminations and racial segregations. They become vital parts. They played important roles in mathematics, scientific, and engineering history, especially at NASA. Katherine Johnson calculated rocket trajectories for the Mercury and Apollo missions. When her skills were recognized, she was allowed to what had previously been all men meetings. So at NASA. So the setting is at US in 1960s at Langley Research Center in Hampton, Virginia, United States, and the theme is revolves about overcoming adversity, social and gender equality, women empowerment, education, and the importance of teamwork.